Hi besties, it's your girl, your friendly neighbourhood otaku, Scarrlet Uzumaki, back with another video. Woohoo! So today's video is all about how I like to save money for cosplays. Now these are a few tips that I think are helpful to me. They may or may not be helpful for you, but I thought, do you know what? Let me just share what I like to do in order to save money to cosplay, because we all know, whether we don't know, that cosplay can be a very, very expensive hobby. So I'm one of those people who does not sew all of their cosplays from scratch. I am not much of a sewer. I'm more of like a modifier. So one thing that I find is most helpful for somebody like me who has skills that are like down here is to go to thrift shops, or like charity shops as they are known in the UK. So one thing I like to do is I like to go to charity shops in order to buy the base for a lot of outfits. A lot of the characters who I cosplay, they wear clothes. I mean, obviously they all wear clothes, but they wear generic clothes. Like for example, when I used to watch Seven Deadly Sins, I cosplayed as Gopher. A lot of his outfits, they are just clothes. So when I cosplayed him, I just went to one of the charity shops and I found a suit jacket and some trousers, and it was absolutely perfect as the base for that cosplay. And a top tip when it goes to charity shopping in brick and mortar stores is to go to areas that are more upscale, so higher end. So I live in London, and I found that some of the higher end areas tend to be like around Kilburn or Richmond, Ealing, so areas that are a bit more affluent. I tend to find better items which tend to serve me more. And if you don't have a lot of options for charity shops in your local area, I have found Vinted can also be good as well. So I just I search what I want in the Vinted search box. So whether it is the actual cosplay altogether or if it's base items, I have found that both have been quite helpful. So some of my Demon Slayer outfits are actually from Vinted. So yes, my Rengoku cape is actually from Vinted, and I bought it for like £3, and that's including the postage. So you can be lucky, and sometimes you are unlucky when it comes to sizing on Vinted, but I would say don't give up, just keep searching. So one thing I like to do, so when I'm buying for cosplay that's already pre-made, all the bits and bobs, the whole gravy and stuffing all together, I like to make sure I buy this during sales. So I have found during periods such as holiday seasons, so things like January, you have Black Friday, a lot of the cosplay selling sites like Doki Doki, Meat Costumes, Mob Bunny, all of them bad boys out there, they tend to have sales around holiday periods. So if there is a cosplay that I know I want to buy but it's a little bit spenny, I will wait to buy it. An example of this was actually my Nika Para cosplays. I was really waiting to buy them, and I have been wanting to buy them for months, ages, and I actually waited for the January sale to come around before buying it. So that should be arriving soon. I'm really excited to actually wear that. Another tip I like to do with saving money for cosplays is actually putting money aside. Whatever my income is for that month, I like to put a little bit aside that is specifically for cosplay. So if I have a cosplay that I'm even trying to make or that I'm trying to buy, I put money aside in my bank account that is specifically for cosplay items, and I keep adding to it. So I add like £10 a week, weekly. So by the time I have reached my goal, it should be enough. So at the moment, I'm currently putting money aside for my Angie Woman cosplay from Digimon. So that should be done by end of May. So I'm hoping to actually start making that soon, because I put aside a hefty amount. So I've been saving for the past year, just putting money in weekly to buy items, and the money that I put aside isn't just for Anti-Woman, but it's been for cosplay in general. And so finally I have enough I have added enough back into that little space, but I have enough to actually start buying the materials for Angie Woman. So I'm quite excited for that. One thing I have also found has been very helpful to me is also skimming down the cosplays, or slimming down, sorry, not skimming. So when I say slimming down, I mean the actual list of cosplays that I want to do for the year. So I like to pre-plan, and I find that has really helped me with saving money, because when I just do things on a whim, that is when things get hairy and get very expensive, because you don't realise until it's too late that you have spent, you know, triple zeros on your cosplay, not just double zeros, triple zeros on your cosplays, because you haven't factored in what cosplays you're doing for the year. So I have found that pre-planning is very helpful with saving money for cosplays. And when I do pre-plan, I like to make sure that I'm not putting too much into that list. So not putting, like, you know, 15 cosplays in just for 1 month. No, spread them out. If you want to do 15 cosplays, spread them out throughout the months. Maybe some months you're doing 2, some months you're doing 1. Spread them out, besties. Don't do too much, because it will kill your bank account and it won't like you. And another tip I also have is, when you have finished with a cosplay, sell it. Yes, sell it. I know it's really, really hard, and I have found it really hard as well to part with some cosplays, but I found that 1, they take up space, and 2, I'm not going to wear them again. And if I feel like, hey, I actually might wear it in the future, I'll just do a photo shoot in the cosplay, or take a few pictures, make a few videos, and then finally get rid of it. I have done this with so many cosplays, like my Kakegururi cosplays, some of my Demon Slayer cosplays, some of my fairy tale stuff. I have so many cosplays over the years, and if I kept every single one of them, I would have no space in this room. So what I've done is, after a while of wearing a cosplay, I will sell it either on Vinted, Facebook Marketplace, or eBay. I have found that Vinted has been the best in terms of like communication with a buyer, and also has more protections as a seller, and I like how accessible it is, so I'd prefer that. If you have a cosplay that is sitting in your cosplay space, sitting in storage and gathering dust, get rid of it, sell it, get some money, and put that money towards a new cosplay. I've done this so many times. It is really helpful, besties. I will recommend that until the cows come home. Oh, and one more tip I have in terms of actually saving money is, when you purchase stuff throughout the week, whether it's for shopping, whether it's buying merch, whether it is for daily household expenses, pay in cash, and then when you get your change back, put the change into a piggy bank that you can't open until, you know, a while later, until it fills up to the top, and then that money you put aside, that is the cosplay money. This is something that I did when I first started cosplaying, and I managed to save £300 in a year just from £1 coins alone. £1 coins alone, not even the 50p's, not even the £2. This is from £1 coins throughout the year spent in cash. I had saved £300, and this was actually not used for an actual cosplay, but this actually went to cover a hotel for a convention I went to. So I would highly recommend doing it. I actually have a jar right now. Should I show you? Wait, stay there. So this, besties, is actually my jar, and as you can hear, she is full. She is very full, and that is just from pound coins. And this is a jar I started in the beginning of 2025, so probably soon she needs to be busted open. So that's my jar, and that jar goes towards like cosplay savings just from pound coins, buying in cash. So that can either cover like a hotel for a weekend, or it could go towards cosplay supplies. So yes, I would highly recommend, get yourself a jar, besties. Get yourself a cosplay jar. And this jar is wonderful because it has no opening. You have to use a can opener to physically open it, so you're not tempted to go inside it and take money out throughout the year. You have to physically go into the jar, bust it open with a can opener or a knife to get the money out. And that's what I love. I love these jars. I recommend it, besties. Get yourself a jar. So that's it, besties. Those are all my tips that I use to save money for cosplays. So besties, that's all I have time for today. And if you have any tips of your own of saving money for cosplays, let me know down in the comments. And if you liked this video and you liked my cosplay saving money tips, please let me know. I love to hear from you besties. Thank you, and that's all I have time for today. Bye.